Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have Djibouti ranks first among African ports. For the international scene, Palestine over 19 injured in new clashes in Jerusalem. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has continued to receive congratulatory telegrams from heads of state and governments of brotherly and friendly countries, as well as from important leaders of regional, continental, and international organizations since he was triumphantly re-elected to the Djiboutian Supreme Magistracy. The Prime Minister of Thailand, Mr. Prayut Chan, is among a recent batch of leaders who have just sent their warm congratulations to the President of the Republic. On behalf of the government and the people of the Kingdom of Thailand, I have the honor to convey to you my warm congratulations on your brilliant re-election, the Thai Prime Minister wrote in messages sent to the President Guelleh. I also take this opportunity to express my determination to work together with Your Excellency to identify new areas of fruitful cooperation for our two countries and our two peoples. Mr. Shan noted in the same documents, reiterating his wishes for success and achievement to the President of the Republic. The World Bank published on May 5, 2021 studies on the Global Performance Index of container ports. According to this report, Djibouti's ports are ranked first among African ports on 61 in the world. More than 4/5 of the world's merchandise trade by volume is carried by sea, and about 35% of total volume and more than 16% of trade value are shipped in containers. It is based on the total numbers of port hours per call, defined as the times between when a ship docks at the port when it leaves the berth, having completed its cargo exchange. Higher and lower workloads are taken into account by examining the intrinsic data in 10 different call size ranges. 5 distinct vessel size groups are considered in the methodology, given the potential for greater fuel and emissions saving on larger vessels. This report is a strategic lever that shows the efforts made by the country's leaders and also allows decision makers to have an overview of the efficiency of our country's ports, and this demonstrates the rightness of the investment and proves once again the way to achieve the 2035 vision is outlined by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. The President of the Port and Free Zone Authority, Abubakar Omar Hadi, congratulate all the actors of the port sectors for this excellent performance of the country. The different CDC of the capital, namely in the neighborhood 3, the stadium and Wahle Daba hosted yesterday the semi-finals of the INTERCDC competitions of recitations of the Holy Quran and the 99 names of Allah, as well as the games of questions on the life of the Prophet, peace be upon him. This competition is initiated by the State Secretariat for Youth and Sports, organized in collaboration with the Ministry of Cultures, are part of the promotion and development of youth. The Ministry of Women and Family, in collaboration with UNICEF, has set up a national platform for child protection in Djibouti. In 2018, a delegation led by the director of the family will be touring the region from 2 to 6 May for orientation of the information days and days on the child protection platforms. Yesterday mornings on the 3 May, delegation is hosted an orientation and information workshop on the child protection platform in Dakhil at the headquarters of the regional council. The workshop was attended by officials from the region, namely the prefecture, the president of the regional council, the ministries of health, education, social affairs, the state secretariat for youth and sports. The Ministry of Agriculture organized last Thursday in Tajura a ceremony to launch the distributions of the livestock feed and agricultural tools and cash transfer to agropastoralists in Tajura as part of the emergency Locus control project launched by the government with the financial support of the World Bank. Herders and farmers in the other 3 regions of the country will receive their batches of feed and farm implement as well as cash transfer in the coming weeks. In addition to Mr. Bragoita Said from the Ministry of Agriculture, who is in charge of the project, the Food Agriculture Organization representative also attended the meeting. The project includes the establishment of an early warning system support to affected population, promotions of food security, and improvement of the livelihoods of the rural population affected by the emergency, safeguarding biodiversity and protections of indigenous species. The CAF experts visit to Gouled Stadium last night, having brought his expertise to the Gouled International file. The Vice President of the Djibouti Football Federation is in the presence of the general managers of the Gouled Stadium and her deputy, as well as the various technical managers. The world competition in Djibouti for the qualification of the World Cup Qatar 2022, which will begin on 5 June. The experts visit the dressing rooms, the chairs, and the infrastructure of the synthetic file validated until 2022, an electric locomotive for the lightning tank, and the code of rich materials of communication and the numbers of the material necessary to assure the tasks of broadcasting. The experts visit the caravan of the radio and televisions of Djibouti. President, each technician has his post. As part of the fight against smuggling in all its forms and acting cross-checked information investigation, the Brigade of 6 and 7 neighborhoods undertook an operation to catch sellers of smuggled depigmentation products. The investigations were carried out with professionalism and led to the identification and arrest of the 2 traffickers who were wholesalers of the depigmentation products and counterfeit medicines. The various searches carried out resulted in the discovery of the 270 pieces of dermovat and 214 pieces of betazed and 115 packets of counterfeit medicines and 200 Vigo stimulant tablet. The market values of this smuggled product is estimated at 215,000 Swiss franc, Djibouti franc, and the persons arrested were brought to justice to answer for their actions. In the framework of the fight against smuggling, the National Police of Ali Sabih intercepted in the border of Galilee a large amount of smuggled good consisting of 20 packets of cat. According to the standard procedures in forces, this quantity was transmitted to the custom brigade and destroyed on the spot in the presence of the head of the Ali Sabih custom brigade, Mr. Muhammad Mumin Hassan. Let us recall that smuggling is detrimental to the economy of the country. It is with great sadness that we learn the death of Mr. Goody Billy following a car accident that occurred in Al Sabih last Thursday at 5 p.m., born on March 1st in 1959 in Zela. The deceased was a former executive of the CNSS, was and appreciated by everyone. He left behind him 15 children and 6 grandchildren. He was the chief of the Gabon district. Our deepest condolence to the administrative financial director of the Minister of Communication, Mr. Goody Billy, and to the entire family. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene in Palestine, over 19 injured in new clashes in Jerusalem. For weeks, tensions have been high in Jerusalem, but also in the West Bank. Another Palestinian territories occupied by the Israeli occupiers, where Palestinians have been demonstrated against the access restrictions imposed by Israel to certain areas during Ramadan and the possible evictions of Palestinians from Sheikh Jarrah. On Fridays, violent clashes had pitted Palestinian worshippers against Israeli police who had entered the mosque compound. The spokesman of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and on Fridays urged the Zionist entities to put an immediate end to all forced evictions of Palestinians, which could constitute war crimes. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.